Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I do hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to this night-ending bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple quick links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. And if you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment and share the video. Why? Well, because all these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They definitely do matter, and they are appreciated. And now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to this night-ending bonus upload. Shall we? Today's first encounter. My two brothers and I were out camping in the woods at our favorite spot. We kind of found it by accident when we were little, when our dad took us out there during one of our trips. It became our unofficial camping site from that point. It's a clearing in a national forest, but it's not a place you could find if you were faint of heart. We're pretty experienced in the woods, which made it perfect for us, even though we couldn't go there all that often anymore. My brothers and I, we still met there every once in a while when we could manage to still get together for old time's sake. It was late at night. We had built a fire. We're just sitting around talking for some time when I thought I heard noises, like something moving up ahead of me in the nearby trees, just out of the range of the firelight. We looked there, and I thought I saw the outline of something tall standing there looking at us. Something was off, but I thought it was possible for it to be someone who had gotten lost. My brothers didn't agree with me and kept saying that something wasn't right, because he just stood there. He didn't approach us. We called out to him, but he ignored us and moved back into the trees instead, where we couldn't see him anymore. But he didn't keep going. I mean, he made noises walking a couple steps back into the trees, but then it felt like he didn't leave, but just stopped and stayed right there. We were all fairly sure whoever it was hiding there in the trees. I can count on my fingers on one hand the number of times we came across another person that far out in the woods like that before, in all the times we've been here. It isn't to say it couldn't happen, but it just didn't happen. It wasn't a usual occurrence for us. And I didn't like the thought that someone was there and hid from us like that. You know, since we even called out to them, and they obviously knew that we knew they were there. I didn't take it as a good sign about their possible intentions, that they had hid and didn't either answer us back or leave the area. And I thought that was someone that either wanted to attack us or steal from us. My brothers and I are all armed. But you can't just shoot somebody. You have to make sure you don't. I mean, it could be someone drunk or messing with us. Or it could be someone lost and in need of help. But who's going to be messing around with us out there so late at night? I didn't think it would be someone messing around, but I had to make sure they weren't actually up to something. I got up and walked closer to the trees with my gun drawn to shine my flashlight on what I still believed at the time was somebody hiding in the trees. When I got close, the smell of wet dog hit me like a blast out of nowhere. Then I heard movement up ahead and saw something move behind a tree just as I found it with my light. I saw a head stick out from behind the tree, and then I knew it was not another man like I thought it was. I stood there dumbfounded at a total loss of words. I expected to see a person, but I saw a long snout, and then its teeth as this thing curled its lips up and snarled at me. I backed up in the direction of my brothers and the fire, my flashlight and gun both still aimed at it, and it came out from behind the tree and followed me. It snarled at me the whole way. I could not make sense of what I was seeing. There's no question it was a wolf. It looked exactly like a wolf, but it stood and walked on 2 legs. There's no way for me to understand what I'm looking at. Not only was it a wolf on 2 legs, it was muscular and taller than me. I'm 6'3", and I still had to look up to meet its eyes. It was not something I ever envisioned myself seeing at any time in my life. I had not even considered the possibility of having this happen out here. There's no way to make sense of it. If my brothers hadn't been there with me to back up what I saw, I could have convinced myself I dreamt the whole thing, got my facts and memories mixed up, but nope, they saw it too. We know what we saw. It had a black coat, pointed ears, a head, fangs, and eyes of a wolf. It was much bigger and looked heavier than any wolf I'd ever seen. But it was still a wolf, not a black bear standing on 2 legs. Believe me when I say I know the difference. It showed me its huge canines and walked toward me on 2 legs, looking at me all angry like it wanted to tear me apart. I was focused on it. I couldn't look away from its eyes. It had yellowish orange eyes, but what stood out to me the most was there was so much rage and malice in those eyes. Let me just say that I'm not a guy who scares easily. I faced bears, but this thing terrified me in a way no other event in my life ever has. Nothing ever scared me like this, or made me feel that I was seconds away from being killed the way this thing made me feel. I knew without hesitation, without the shadow of a doubt, that it wanted us dead. I aimed my gun but heard one of my brothers fire a warning shot before I could even do anything. It didn't stop. It was not a man wearing a costume messing around with us. Otherwise, he would have made it clear right then and there. The joke would have been over. Instead, it got closer, and both my brothers and I fired more shots and hit it in the stomach area. It ran back into the woods that time, and it ran on its 2 legs. We shone our flashlights in the direction it ran. I tried so hard to track it with the light, but it moved so fast. I couldn't keep up with it. When you find yourself dead set focused on something like that, and you try with all of your might and all your concentration to find it somewhere out there in front of you, it has all of your attention. You are trying very hard to locate it. The last thing you think about is that there's another one that snuck up behind you. We heard the growling behind us, turned around, and saw there was another one. It would have gotten us, but the growling gave it away. That was the only clue, the only thing to indicate that it was there at all. There was no other noises or any other sound of movement behind us. It looked exactly like the first one, but this one was even bigger. I don't know if it was just the same one, but I don't think it could have run that fast to get behind us. And it was bigger. It also didn't have any wounds on it where we shot the first one. This one also walked on 2 legs. It was close to my brother and caught us by surprise. He was caught off guard, and before he had time to fire at it, my brother let loose and shot it in the head. It ran back into the trees, and we heard it run off into the distance. Then we didn't hear it again. We didn't hear anything anymore. That was enough. We got all our stuff together and got out. We weren't staying there that night. The trek back to the trucks was nerve-wracking. I told you I don't scare easily. Plenty of noises happen out in the woods, but I don't jump at them. After what we had just been through, I jumped at every noise on the way back. Every noise scared us and had us on edge. We made it back to the trucks without further incident, though. We've never gone back camping there. We didn't talk about it to each other for a long time. It's been a long time since then, but trying to get over what happened is still difficult for me. I've had nightmares ever since. I've tried very hard to put it out of my mind, to forget about it. There is now a deep dread of going out into the woods that I feel now. that I've never felt before as far as I can remember. Honestly, I have not gone back camping at all since then, and neither has my brothers. We all have families. I just don't think it's worth to put my family at risk of not having a husband or a dad there anymore by getting killed out in the woods by something like that. I tried to find information that could help me understand what I experienced, but it wasn't any good. I wanted to talk about it with someone who knew what these things were that I saw out there. I really did, but I don't go talking about it to anyone, and I'm not about to go back in the woods and look for them. Before I saw them, I didn't believe in any of these kind of stories of these things. I understand if people don't believe what I say happened. Life is like that. But I don't care if someone else believes me or not. I know what I saw, and my brothers know what they saw. We know what we saw out in the woods that night. Today's second encounter. A couple of friends and I had packed up camp earlier in the day, and we were supposed to leave hours ago, but thought we'd enjoy the setting a little longer. We ended up staying longer than we planned, but after all, camping had become a rare treat for us. We enjoyed it. It had gotten darker than we had planned for, but I had to go off and find a private area to do my business before the drive back. As I headed back to where the others were waiting, it became obvious to me that I was being watched. I had the sense of it for some time. Then there were a sudden shuffling noise and leaves moving around that confirmed my suspicions. More jarring for me was, aside from the noises, it was dead silent. No noise at all from insects or animals is usually a bad sign, meaning something dangerous is in the area. We had camped deep in some thick woods, which is why I was on edge whenever I heard that occasional noise behind me as I moved. If I stopped moving, there was no noise at all. It moved when I did, and I could hear the leaves moving then. I'd spin around, but wouldn't see anything. As soon as I got back into the clearing, I waited, staring hard into the darkness, back in the direction I had come from. The others were just beyond the trees waiting. I could hear them talking, even, but I knew I was being followed, and I had to see what it was. I was taking so long that one of the friends came to check on me. He's about to say something, but then he got quiet and pointed in the direction I had just come from, saying that there was something moving in the trees behind me. So I looked at where he pointed in case I could see it now. As I stood there, nothing happened at first, but then I saw a pair of eyes close to the ground moving closer to me, stopping just beyond the trees and glaring at me from the darkness. It didn't follow me out of the clearing, but it just ended up sort of staying at the edge of the trees. I wouldn't have been able to see where it was except for the red eye shine. The way it was so close to the ground gave me the impression of a person crawling on their belly. There was a tense silence, and I think it could have been a person. Started shouting at it to challenge it to come out into the open, but it just stayed there waiting quietly with those eyes locked on me. I waited and waited. My other friends heard me shouting and came to investigate. I hadn't looked away from whatever it was watching me, which alerted them to likewise look in that direction. They saw it immediately. The eyes looked at all of us in turn. One of my friends had his pistol on him, and he took it out. The eyes immediately looked at the pistol, and then back at him, then back at the pistol. It slowly started to rise up. Slowly, the eyes went from being close to the ground to being about 7 to 8 feet in the air. The whole time, they never moved their gaze from my friend's pistol. I knew it. It had to. The way it reacted meant that it knew what a pistol was. My friend fired a warning shot into the ground in front of it. Then it again slowly looked at him, and then back at the pistol, but it also began to start backing away. It didn't turn away while backing off, though. The eyes just moved back, retreating into the darkness, far away that I couldn't see them anymore. My friend asked me what it was. Neither of us had an idea. And I simply responded that I didn't know, but that we should get out of here. I was thoroughly disturbed by what just happened. I also wanted to make sure it was gone, but I also wanted to get out of here. That's when we heard the noises moving toward the side and understood that it was probably trying to circle around us to get us from behind. That was too much. We quickly backed up, watching the area where we last heard the noises until we made it back to where the vehicles were parked. We got in as fast as we could to drive home. One of my friends was riding with me, but we didn't say much. As we drove away, I began to wonder if we had overreacted or the imagination danger where there was none. Maybe it was just someone playing a prank on us, but something caught my eye in the rearview mirror, and I looked at it to see a pair of red eyes very high off the ground watching us as we left. Alright guys, so now we're going to jump into let's check out some videos. The first one, it looks to be Brazil to me. I don't speak Portuguese or Spanish, so whatever is in the woods, everyone is fully aware of it, and it kind of just runs to the other side of the trail. It really does remind me of Blue and his live Facebook page or post on how quick it moves, but then it's really just this pretty interesting video. You guys tell me what you think. I'm 80% that it may be real. I'm 20% that it may not be, but just the way everyone is acting and how this creature is moving and whatnot reminds me of, like I said, the Facebook post from Blue from Fort Pierce, Florida, back in the day, couple years ago.
Creature spotted in Brazil.
E Damar? E Damar? Apareceu um negócio atrás de ti aí. Ó, de novo. Vem atrás aí. Não sei, apareceu atrás aí. Tu viu, macaco? O macaco também viu aí, tá aparecendo aí, ó. Não sei se é cobra. Foi e voltou aí. Olha aí de novo aí, ó. É aí mesmo. É, mas sai daí, pô, sai daí. Pode ser bicho. Sai daí. Pode ser bicho. Deixa eu ver lá. De novo, ó. Tá bem perto de ti aí, ó. Sai daí, mano. Não quer me afastar, sai daí. Sai daí.
Now, the next video, a little strange. There's some backstory. Apparently, the camera was an older camera found in the woods, and this is the footage of that. But whatever that is in the woods running across the screen, a guy and a girl, they both see it. The girl is definitely not comfortable. Now, there's been numerous, bad word, there's been a few cases of these predator-like cryptids spotted and reported. I'm not sure what these are. I don't know if it's something from a rift portal or if it's just a Dogman or a Sasquatch utilizing a camouflage. But either way, it's creepy. And once again, I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no. I'm not really sure.
Do you see that? Over there, look, over there. Do you see that?
What the hell?
Wait, because that was it again, right there. Wait.
I don't like this.
You see that? Right there. Look.
Oh my god. That's not an animal. I don't like it.
Okay, fuck. Go.
Next clip, I'm not sure. I'm going to play it twice. It's short, whatever it is. The dog's upset. The kids are upset, but this could be kind of like some sort of prank or a skit. I'm not sure. But however they're acting is a little off. But once again, it could be a skit. It doesn't appear to be one, but God, I almost wish this was a real encounter. I mean, the dog actually is genuinely freaked out. You can hear the dog book up the stairs with the kids. So, yeah, I'm not going to say yes or no on this one either.
Dude, do you see that? No, dude, what the heck is that? No, dude, do you see that? Oh my god. Dude, Bryson, tell me you don't see that. No way. What is that? Ellie, come on. Dude, do you see that? No, dude, what the heck is that? No, dude, do you see that? Oh my god. Dude, Bryson, tell me you don't see that. No way. What is that? Ellie, come on.
This next one could go either way. This could be pareidolia, or it could be a person, Bigfoot, who knows. You can see kind of an arm, but then again, that could be pareidolia. I don't mention a lot of names seldomly, because I don't like to be mixed up in the crowd or the community. But Jody Cook one time showed me a picture, and because we were talking about pareidolia and how, people can see what they want when they want to. And he showed me a picture of a stump and how it was set up on kind of a hill in the woods. And if you look at it, and actually how he said it to me, he said, "Jeff, look at this picture of a Dogman." And it had been, Jody and I we've only talked a couple of different times. But he said, look at this picture. That's a Dogman or a Bigfoot. And I looked at it and I said, yeah, I see something. And he said, that's pareidolia. He said, that is a log. And he broke it down and showed me the same picture at a different angle. So this could be a case of pareidolia. I'm not sure. I find it interesting how the people kind of take the color out and do a little resolution with the color. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but, they mess with the color a little bit. To me, I'm 50-50. The others, I'm about 80-20 prior to this one. I'm 50-50 on this because it could be pareidolia and it could be something else.
Look. Oh my god. That's crazy. Look. Oh my god. That's crazy.
And finally, this last video clip is pretty interesting. It could be a Bigfoot, or it could be an intruder, or it could be, an intruder walking through your backyard or walking through the wood line. Or it could just be some, not CGI, but, computer aided whatever. I don't think this is real, but it could be. So I'm 60 not real, 40 real on this. It's definitely something, but I don't know. It's just, it may be a person. It looks to me like a person, but then again, Sasquatch resembles a person walking on two legs through the woods. So who really knows on this one? I'm really not sure. I'm not sure on all of them, but this is the one that really kind of, when I saw it first, I was like, oh, that's just a dude walking through these guys' wood line. Or it's the person who owns the cameras. Who knows? People do a lot of crazy stuff nowadays. It could be, but it could be a Bigfoot, so let's leave it there. 60-40. And today's final encounter. I spent the day helping a friend move into his new home. He moved a little further away from town, and it was no small drive back home, so he offered to let me stay the night with his family at their new house, since it was already late. I turned down the offer because I had a family of my own, and I just wanted to get back home. Part of the trip back through was a rural road that is very dark at night. Though the sky was clear and the moonlight helped visibility a little, as I drove down this road, I saw what appeared to be a huge black dog. Comparing its height to my car, I would say it had to have been almost as tall as a cow, when on all fours. I had slowed down to look at it, but then it turned towards me and I saw its face. Glowing red eyes, bared teeth, and it looked angry and more evil than a demon I could ever imagine. It looked furious, and I thought it was going to charge me. It was so terrifying I almost drove off of the road. When I got the car under control, I looked for it again, and I saw it running into the nearby woods. Now, the thing about this is when I first saw it, it was clearly on 4 legs, but then when it was running, it looked like it had been on 2. Maybe it only looked that way because it was dark and how fast it was going, and how far from the road it had been, but I don't know. And I really think it looked like it was running on its hind legs. I had no one to tell, no one who could help me make sense of what I just saw. My wife was understanding, but I don't think she'll ever believe me. I think she believed I saw something, but not necessarily what I told her I actually saw. It's not something you bring up and talk to your kids about either, even though they're all grown up now. I wanted to warn my friend and tried to ask him if there were any unusual animals or anything he saw while living out there. I only hinted at what I saw without necessarily telling him exactly what I saw, but he said he didn't. I tried talking about it with another person I thought I could trust, but I could tell that it wasn't going anywhere and then got made fun of by that person, even though he is actually into this kind of stuff. I had the kind of job where I wouldn't want anyone to think I was crazy, so I didn't bring this up ever again. If the one person I knew who was into this kind of stuff didn't believe me, then I felt that no one was going to believe me anyway. I never went back to see or visit that friend. I always came up with a way to get out of it. Some excuse or other that I was busy, and I never went into the country if I knew it was going to be dark when I'd be driving, either to or from. I truly don't know what it was, but I never saw it again, and I never want to see it again. I can still see its face when I close my eyes and think about it. I wish I had just accepted the offer to stay the night, or that I never went out there in the first place. Above all else, I wish I never looked into those eyes. I can't describe the feeling of dread, of pure evil I felt from them, or the sheer terror I feel now when I'm just sharing this. I sometimes think it was waiting for just me to look into its eyes, that it wanted to make sure I looked into those eyes, and I feel like it had its hold over me ever since. I can't really describe it, but it's never left me. For a long time I've had nightmares about it. I still do sometimes, though not as much as before. I know the nightmares will come back with some intensity now, though, now that I am concentrating on a memory like this. I'll tell you this, I can't even remember the faces of people who were important to me in the past, but I can still remember that face and those eyes after all that time. And there you have it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this night ending bonus upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you for supporting the channel. It is your support, after all, that helps this channel to continue to grow and go, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we deserve. Stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and friends. These creatures are real. These events have happened. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.